All right, all right, all right.
What up, y'all? It's your favorite little meat morsels all wrapped up in plastic, Musubi, and me,
Yeah, yeah.
your boy Frankie Gliz, and of course, with me as always,
Musubi, the only Musubi named Musubi. First name, last name, and middle name is a mystery.
Spam.
Yeah, spam. Yeah, Musubi, spam, Musubi, the Musubi. What, what can you say, man? We missed you guys last week, but we had a good reason to. We stayed at a little place in a town called La Ie.
And the funny thing about like EA, for those of you who don't know, it is right up by. They have a campus up there. It's Brigham Young University. A lot of Mormons up there.
A lot of Mormons.
So first thing I did is I rolled into the local grocery store and I walked all the way around that motherfucker. And I can tell you there was no beer.
Not only is there no beer, but if you go there on a Sunday afternoon, a Sunday morning, or a Sunday night, the store is closed.
Yep.
The whole town shuts down.
Shut it down for Jesus.
It's shutting it down for Jesus. Is it Jesus or Joseph Smith or both?
I think both. Is it
Because
not?
Joseph Smith, I guess he was just a prophet, right?
I honestly don't know.
I think he was. Well, I know all of my Mormon knowledge from that one South Park episode.
Yeah. South Park gets it right though.
They are very historically accurate. Like they had the Scientology episode
Hmm.
that was surprisingly accurate.
The Hawaii one was good,
The Hawaii one was good.
and the wrestling one I found pretty funny too.
The wrestling one.
Yeah, where they all decide they want to be wrestlers,
Oh yeah.
but then they actually have to go and do high school wrestling, and they're
Yeah.
like, "What is this? This is
Yeah.
gay."
You know, a little gay with a little 5-on-2 checking the oil. You know,
Yeah.
that's how you prove your masculinity is sticking your finger up another man's butthole.
All right. Well, speaking to that point, we want to thank our sponsors. First one is pronunciation.
Oh.
Yes, pronunciation. That's right. In this day and age, we run into a lot of issues. He, him, she, her, they, them. You don't know. It's quite the situation. We got it down right here with the pronunciation. Hit us up.
Yep. And this is brought to you by our next sponsor, Procrastination. Because I didn't think of another sponsor because I was procrastinating. But thank God procrastination comes through and just shines itself through the door.
You know what's interesting about like procrastination though is like they say like that's like the ultimate driver, right? Like if you never set a deadline, you wouldn't procrastinate, you would never really get things done.
Yeah.
And the better you are at procrastinating, I think, the better you are at getting shit done in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, like it's like you're in the zone, right? If you procrastinate and you feel the heat of the moment, like pretty much. And then that's when I did a lot of my best work in school and stuff like that is 10 minutes before it was due. You just have that
Fire under your ass.
you have that fire under your ass.
I know all about that.
And you pull out shit that you never thought that you would be pulling out,
Yeah.
except for the stress of procrastination.
That being said, never pull out.
Always leave it in. That's what they say. Yeah. The stress of procrastination actually may have given me shingles. I had shingles last week, but well, I think it's shingles. It could be a fungal rash, but I did my own research.
WebMD.
WebMD, yeah.
Was it WebMD?
Yeah.
It's so funny.
And I felt like I had all the symptoms. It was a rash that felt like it was burning, and it felt like someone was giving me a tattoo for the whole week, like under my arm.
Wait. Let's go through this. All right.
Yeah.
Skin sensitivity,
Yes.
tingling, itching,
Yes.
pain followed by rash that looks like small red spots that turn into blisters.
Yes.
Ooh,
That is what I had.
okay.
And they said, so my treatment was I got the antifungal itch cream, I got Lotrimin, I mixed those two together, and I just put it on, and that was it. I don't know if that worked or not, because they say there is really like no cure. And then I just put some baby powder on it.
It says here breast milk works for that as well.
Really?
No.
Dang. Should have been getting some titty milk. Yeah. So my girlfriend's brother-in-law had pink eye, and he did a little titty milk treatment, and he still has pink eye. So I don't know. I don't know how historically accurate that thing is, but
Is that
supposedly it works.
that's like an actual thing, huh?
Yeah. Look up pink eye cure mints, titty milk.
Breast milk could be more harmful than helpful for pink eye.
Oh, that makes more
One,
sense then. Yeah.
yes, one of these few studies on whether breast milk can fight infections found that it didn't cure the most common causes of pink eye, and worse, breast milk can introduce new bacteria into the eye and cause serious infection.
Well, I should probably give him a call or throw him a text message to stop putting titty milk in your eye because you're gonna go blind.
Can you imagine you're like you lose an eye, right? You get pink eye, it gets infected, you end up losing the eye, and then you have to tell the story about how you were putting breast milk in your eye thinking it was making it better.
Yeah.
It is very much like the hair of the dog thing,
Yeah.
right?
Well, kind of. It's like, oh, I put too much breast milk in my eye last night. I got to put some in this morning.
Yeah.
But no, that's crazy. When they told me that, I was like, "Are you sure?" And they're like, "Yes, I'm totally sure."
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how that works out, but hopefully well. Hopefully well. But for all you listeners out there, the millions of listeners, just don't put breast milk in your eye if you have pink eye, because
Or yeah, or maybe do give it a go.
give it a go and let us know
if you're a
how that
gambler.
works out.
Yeah,
Because I don't think they've done too many clinical trials of putting breast milk in your eye. Like WebMD, I want to see a bigger sample size.
you want to see bigger sample size of WebMD.
Yeah, or how big were the titties like that you're getting the breast milk from? Like,
yeah, I doubt that's on. Do you think that's even on like WebMD, the breast milk thing? I bet you it's not.
No way. No way.
Yeah.
But some people say, breast size matter. I'm not a fan of that. I would say it does not matter. As long as you can shoot milk out them nips, that's good enough.
I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
Right? You can milk anything with nipples. Speaking of that, I did watch the movie Basketball. And have you seen Basketball?
Yeah. Not for a while, but.
And one of the psych outs was he just shot milk out of his nipples.
I feel like I've been in a strip club and there was like a stripper that was like lactating and she was doing that. Which you want to talk about getting an infection.
Yeah, right?
Like that's where it's going to happen right there.
There's nothing probably dirtier than
stripper
booby milk.
Right.
Like.
Yeah. What are the places? All right, so there's like certain places that you're going to go that you like always want to wear shoes.
A strip club is definitely, well, certain strip clubs, I'd say 90% of the strip clubs.
I mean, I think strip club, just regardless, you should probably wear shoes.
Yeah.
It's just, places you go and it's just like the floors are sticky. I feel like baseball games are kind of like that.
Yeah. Baseball or any sports events and stuff like that where you get that little crunch or that little.
Yes.
And
yes.
You're like, I don't know if the bottom of my slippers are going to protect me from all this fucking gunk that is rampant
or
everywhere.
For those of you who don't know, right, slippers are basically just sandals or whatever, right? Yeah, but they kind of just go in between your toes.
They're thongs.
Some people call them thongs. Yeah, it's weird. That's a weird one. But the problem with that too, especially when you run into something sticky like that, is it pulls, and then you can break them.
Yeah.
And then you're barefoot in a strip club, and that's not.
There's certain bars too that I would say too that are slipper breaker places.
Yeah.
Like freaking. And then that's the worst, unless you have like a little the brand local slippers where you can just like pop it back through or like something like that.
Yeah.
But 99% of those sandals, thongs / slippers is if you break in that part, you're fucked.
Oh man, I had that happen to me once. I was actually it was a really easy hike, small easy hike, relatively flat, but then my slipper broke and then I had to walk back barefoot. It's like I
did the lighthouse on the east side. What's that one called?
Makapu'u.
Makapu'u Lighthouse, and we went down the side to go to the tide pool.
Yeah, that's where it happened to me. Oh,
Oh.
no, it wasn't the tide pools. It's like, you know how like you can go up or you can go down?
Yeah.
We went down. You know how there's that beach, Pele's Chairs over there? Yeah, we went down over there and then it broke on the way back up.
Yeah.
And it's all like rocks and shit.
Dude, the worst. Like freaking getting back up, and then you're trying to angle your foot right, put the right pressure, and I definitely had cuts on my feet. Like, well, next time we could just put some titty milk on there. And
seems like titty milk works for pretty much everything.
Yeah, it's like the be all end all cure. It's like Robitussin. It's like our generation, the new generation's Robitussin,
or like Windex for Filipinos.
Yeah. Yeah. Windex.
Yeah, for you white people out there, it's going to be more like Pepto-Bismol, maybe.
Pepto-Bismol. Get a little chamomile oil and like stir it up in some hot tea and drink it.
Bro, I remember this one time I got super sick, and the girl I was dating at the time, her dad was like, he had done like kung fu in like New York, but with like a bunch of like proper, like just, you know, proper kung fu.
Yeah.
Right. And like these guys were wild. Like he had some of the craziest stories ever. But I remember he was like, "Oh, you're sick." He's like, "I have something for you." And he gives me this thing. He's like, "Drink it." And it was like a vial, and it had like tiger's blood and like snake oil. Dude, I drank it. I felt so sick. I was like, "Will you please just give me Pepto-Bismol?"
He's like, "Do you feel better?" "No, but I grew a second penis."
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
The medical term for that is diaphilia, actually. I don't know why I know that. I do, actually. I went into like a random tangent on Google. Someone told me about that, and there's like...
You checking out some stuff on WebMD, dude. Don't lie.
Yeah. There's like real dudes with like 2 cocks.
You're like, "Do you have 2 dicks?" You're like, "No, but I have all the other symptoms."
I'm like, so which one do you pee out of?
So many questions.
So, also last week we did watch the Super Bowl. Like, what do you think about the game?
I mean, it was to me. I think we could start in a different spot for this. So, like, all right, hosting the Super Bowl, right? Like, I think if you're a fan, you know, it's your team, you should not host the Super Bowl.
That is true.
Because we were kind of hosting. We kind of did it in like a weird like Airbnb location.
Yeah.
But we were the only ones that kind of knew where it was. We didn't even know, honestly. We were just the first ones there and getting everything set up. But it was like getting everybody else set up, getting them drinks set up, you know, getting the food kind of set up. It was like, I think I only caught, and then this is actually really fun. I will say this. What did you think of the halftime football game, dude?
Brought me back. It was fun. It was hella fun.
Yeah.
We were going hard. I actually dove for a ball and missed it because it might have been a little bit too high.
Oh, come on.
I don't have the hops like I used to 25 years ago. But yeah, and then I was wearing a white shirt and it was all like muddy and stuff. But that was the game was really fun. Your quarterback, you and me connected with a couple passes.
Yeah.
Threw a TD pass. Glizzy Frank threw a good old TD pass to Musubi over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We had a couple of zingers too that I caught and freaking made me feel like a kid again. We were all just like running, feeling like kids and like hyped up. Like we're like, all right, we'll go easy. But when you're playing with your friends and stuff like that, you go easy until the first play, and then you're like, oh, get like psyched up again and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right?
And then, so the other thing with that is like, so I played a all-time quarterback because apparently nobody else could throw. And dude, the next day, my elbow
I bet
was just like, I was like, oh man. And I was like wondering, I wonder how everybody else feels.
Right.
Right. So what was the payoff for you? Were you like, you felt fine? Body felt fine?
I mean, except for my shingles. I was pretty good. Like, I thought I would be like a little bit sore and stuff, but no, I was just running around and catching. I could imagine though throwing all the time and especially like we didn't warm up or anything.
Yeah.
And you were just like launching bombs like right out the gate.
Yeah.
Like, so looking back, that probably wasn't the proper thing to do. But hey, it was fun and everyone had a great time.
Yeah. Yeah. So that being said, right, hosting and all that kind of stuff, between that, the drinks, the food, playing like halftime football, I think I only caught really the fourth quarter,
Yeah,
which is, I guess, really for that game, all you really needed.
it really was. Well, it was like, oh, the Niners looking like pretty good, and I'll admit it that I was a Niner fan, or I am a Niner fan still. I ain't no fair weather fan. I ain't from fucking Southern California or shit like that. But yeah, but being a true Niner fan, we expected them to lose in that fashion. Like that's
Yeah.
what they do. But people were, I guess I'm getting older now, but people were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry for your loss." I'm like, bro, it's like a family member didn't die. It's just like it's
Yeah.
just fucking a football
It's
game.
just a
Yeah, it's
game.
just a game.
Yeah. But I will speak to that. It's like all my friends that are true Niner fans. It's ironic because you guys are called the faithful. And every single one that I talked to said, like, I don't know if I want to watch the game by myself in a, just like in a closet, or if I want to be around a bunch of people,
Yeah,
and I was like, for the fan base being called the faithful, y'all don't have a lot of faith.
no, no, that's San Francisco. That's California faithful right there.
There you go.
Fair weather faithful. True Niner fans though, the faithful is like a new thing. Like when they just like were like sucking and stuff like that. They're like, oh, we're still the faithful. Our team sucks, but we still like the Niners. Like
Sure.
we won't switch teams, but we're true fans. We expect them to lose in embarrassing fashion. Like
Yeah, it must have been pretty bad for like Vegas fans too, or Raider fans, I should say, because you have KC coming into your house,
yeah,
and then you have the Niners coming into your house.
yeah,
That couldn't be like any worse
that is
teams
true.
for
I
them.
I think fake Vegas though, they're still new, and I don't know how good a fan base. I would compare them to maybe like LA fans or some shit. They like can't be bothered. Like they'll just go to the dome or and
Yeah, yeah,
shit.
yeah.
But it's crazy. Yeah, I'm heart broken that the A's are going to Vegas too for baseball. Like swooping it up right when Oakland was turning around. They lost all their teams.
Are you gonna be an A's fan still?
I don't know. Because I based my fandom off, California teams where I was
Sure.
born and raised.
Yeah.
But I mean, I used to like the Giants, but I'll probably always like the A's. Like
Yeah.
it's been, I'm gonna probably live like almost half my life already and stuff like that. I don't want to switch when I'm have a midlife crisis or some shit. Just
It's a little late now.
yeah,
It's a
too
little late. Yeah.
Like if they went to the East Coast, I would probably have to switch because I ain't rooting for no fucking East Coast teams. Like maybe I would, but it's hard now because I haven't lived in California for over a decade.
Yeah.
So
And so it does give you, that's the cool thing about Hawaii though, is like you can definitely have a little bit more wiggle room as far as like what team you're going to be a fan of and things like that.
like yeah, my girlfriend is a Dolphins fan, and she's like, "Hey, when I was growing up, Dolphins are cool." And I'm like, "Hey."
Was that how that started? I thought it
can't
was
argue
the
with
Tua
that.
thing, no? It wasn't the Tua connection?
She's been a Miami fan ever since I've known her.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I
yeah,
guess that just kind of worked out then, huh?
yeah. It did. It really did work out. She does have a Tua jersey. It just kind of worked out. But before that, she had some other guy's jersey. I forgot. He was a receiver. I forgot who he was.
Waddle?
No, before that. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Sure.
I could ask her after the podcast.
Yeah, so apparently we were not Miami fans.
Right. I could tell you it was not Dan Marino jersey.
Oh, dude.
Dan Marino did peak though in Ace Ventura.
Well,
Have you seen Ace Ventura?
yeah.
He
Who
got
hasn't seen
kidnapped.
who
He got
hasn't seen
kidnapped.
Ace Ventura?
Yeah.
Laces out, Dan.
Laces out. They're little footballs. Like
That's one of those movies I don't think that would like you could do today,
No,
right?
like you couldn't do that movie today. you couldn't do Tropic Thunder today. He's like, I'm a black man. I'm a white guy playing a black guy. Like,
Yeah, they said with that Ben Stiller actually got more
yeah,
shit.
he got all the heat
He got all the
because
heat.
he was Simple Jack.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
would still prove true today, but
probably.
at the time when they released it, there was no like flack. They're like, "Oh, this is a hilarious movie." They're like, "Oh, this is like Tom Cruise reviving his career like right here," or whatever like that.
Hmm. So this week, dude, interesting week, right? Because we had Super Bowl Sunday. Monday is like just notorious for
Yeah,
people not doing shit,
yeah.
right? Like everybody, it's like the least productive day out of the year.
They should make it a holiday, really.
Well, I mean, they could just push the Super Bowl 1 week,
Yeah,
and then we'd have President's Day off.
that would be
That
a
would be
smart
smart,
move. That
right?
would be a smart move.
Yeah, that's the play.
That should be.
That's the play. But they did not do that. So you have Monday, and then you had Tuesday, which is basically, all right, let me try and get my life back in order. Let me try and get back on track here. And then
Yep.
Wednesday was Valentine's Day. So anybody that had a significant other out there, right? You're trying to throw something together real quick for that.
Did you guys do anything for Valentine's Day?
No, man. Well, okay. So I did, but it's all about like how you throw it together. So I will say
Yeah.
that I am anti. I don't want to say I'm like anti Valentine's Day, but it is kind of a fake holiday, right?
I agree.
Then coming from the restaurant industry as well.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
man.
mean?
It's
Like,
just like the worst day. You're just like, you get. I guess you get good tips and shit, but you're just like slammed.
yeah, but like even from the service side, like it's not. You don't want to go to a restaurant that you've been dying to go to because they
Yeah.
do like
No.
prefix. They're trying to get you in and out.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not getting the regular menu. It's not. Yeah.
We did go to a restaurant that we were dying to go to, and it's called Arby's. We have a tradition now since we never really lived close to an Arby's on Oahu. So we're like, for Valentine's Day, we'll go to Arby's. And for like the past 3 or 4 years, we just go to Arby's. And that's our Valentine's Day. They have a little brisket sandwich that I like.
They do have the meats.
Yeah, they have the meats.
Yeah.
And it was cool. We actually got to eat inside this time. For COVID, the past few times, we go through the drive-through and then we just eat it in the parking lot.
That's so funny.
And we have a little parking lot Arby's date.
When you said that, I was like, we finally got to eat inside. I'm like, yo, what happened the other times?
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah.
It's Arby's, bro. It can't
Yeah,
be that
right?
bad.
I'm on the wall. Don't let this guy in.
Yeah.
But they did have like a section that was like clearly blocked off, but I didn't really notice it. So I just moved the chair and sat on the other side.
Yeah.
And Janessa was like, I don't think you're supposed to sit there.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I'm already sitting down. Too late now.
Yeah.
Too late now. But Arby's never disappoints. Well, most of the time doesn't disappoint. You can never say a place never disappoints. But
Yeah.
one time we went there, it was not up to par.
I mean, you're not really expecting big things from Arby's.
No.
You know? You're not
You're
going to
expecting
Arby's.
yeah. You're just not going to be like...
As a matter of fact, I would say the opposite. Like, you're kind of blown away. Like, if the service is really good and the food's really good, you're like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
You know? Arby's throwing down.
I have never expected the service to be good at Arby's.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like,
right?
oh man, we go here for the service.
Yeah.
It's like freaking... It's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but you also had a birthday this week.
I did. Yeah.
Any big things from the birthday or?
No, man, nothing. I try not to do really anything on my birthday. I try not to make it a big deal. I kind of just, I like things to be about other people. I don't really like it to be about me. And so it's hard kind of like navigating that with like work and stuff. And people are like, oh, happy birthday. You're like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, bringing that, how old do you think it is too old to have like a birthday party?
I think once you hit, dude, honestly, I think after you hit like maybe 25.
Yeah.
I think at that point you can only celebrate the milestones.
Yeah, I agree.
You
Well,
know?
I would say I'm even a little more petty on it. I would say after 21.
That's
Like,
yeah. I was thinking
yeah.
21, but I was like, I feel like people still do
Nah, because they're young.
birthday
Yeah,
parties
that's when it's
22,
still like
23. Yeah,
hanging out with your college friends or your young
sure.
friends and stuff
Yeah,
like
you
that.
can still get people together.
And
It's
instead of like now, I feel like if I have like, hey, come to my birthday, it's like a burden kind of like to
yeah,
like
yeah,
everybody
yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we actually do, so for us, we do like a fantasy football draft, a live auction. And so every year we have to get, 12 to 16 people
Bro, yeah.
all in one spot. And it is
Coordinating is a bitch.
like impossible.
Like, oh well, I gotta do this on this day, and I gotta do this
Yeah.
on this day, and it's like, well, if you don't show up, you're not gonna fucking draft. But
Yeah.
still, yeah, the
Brutal.
older you get, the harder it is to coordinate. Like, I'm impressed too that how many people like how big of an event it is. Like, 'cause it's fun and everybody likes it, but there's always like a couple people like, oh, well, can you reschedule this for me? And you're like, no,
No.
well, every the 11 other people can do it on this day, so you
Yeah.
might have to figure that shit out.
It really is about like navigating um, for the masses rather than the individual.
Yeah,
You got to cater to the masses rather. There's a couple people that like I really wanted them to be in the league, and it just didn't work out,
yeah,
and that's just kind of how it goes. So
but yeah, that's life, man. Like freaking, if you set if you set the rules for an event or whatever like that, and people can't abide by the rules, then they got to find something else to do. Like
yeah,
pretty much.
I also kind of think it's like a little bit funny too when people are having like a birthday or they're having some kind of an event and they're like, "Yeah, man, I want you to come," and you're like, "Yeah, yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to make it. Maybe you don't make it." And then my whole thought process on that is like, if you're having a good time, they're not going to care that you're not there,
Yeah,
right? It's
exactly.
about who is there. It's not about who's not there. And if you're getting phone calls from that person during the event,
Yeah,
you're like, it couldn't have been that good,
no, exactly.
Like,
We're old enough now that everything is like understandable. Like freaking okay, you have other stuff come out. Like I understand if you couldn't be there. Like
yeah,
freaking,
yeah,
it should be just like a courtesy invite. Like show up if you can make it,
hmm
but I ain't basing my mood off of you coming or not.
no, no way, can't do it.
Like where are you at? It's like that's such like a high school like
It
thing or something
is,
like that.
yeah. You said you were gonna come. I was like, I said maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe means no nowadays.
right. More leaning towards no.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I say maybe, that's probably a no.
Yes, I agree.
If I say a yes, that's it's like if you say yes, that's maybe a no.
Yeah.
If you say maybe, that's probably a no.
Yeah, and you also do stuff too where it's like if you see somebody and you haven't seen them for a long time, and then you kind of do like that, like, oh yeah, we should definitely meet up and do something, but it's like
Yeah,
so unsincere,
yeah.
like you don't really mean it,
No, you're
right?
just like because you're just like yeah, we should get together. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
right. And then they're like yeah, yeah, and then like that's just like in the moment. But then like once they leave, you're like fuck, I don't want to hang out with that
yeah.
guy.
There's
Like
no way.
right,
Yeah,
like
you're like, what was he talking about? Sport fishing? No, fuck that.
right. Like
It's yeah,
I feel like we're at the age now, unless you like regularly like you hang out with your friends or whatever you see the people that you want to see like there's really no like oh surprise so and so I ran into so and so and now we're gonna do this they're
yeah,
like that's not
right,
happening. Right like
yeah,
you're just like fuck and you're like why did I say that?
yeah,
Like
exactly,
yeah
exactly.
that's
That's
funny
it, man. That's it.
so we got a couple memes so we hit the memes.
Yeah, hit the
Let's
memes.
hit the memes. So we'll go here. And the first one is shame on you. Oh,
That's a video.
it's a video.
Yeah,
Strong women stand together. Bethany Rip Curl. Oh, because she's transgender.
yeah.
Which one is it? Oh, she's obviously transgender. Like I was like, she's hot.
Yeah, it's that's like a whole thing. I think actually there's like a big surfing in general right now is going through like a big fallout through their sponsors. a lot of them are like dropping their sponsors, especially because like a lot of these like bigger corporations, like these umbrella companies, are taking
Yeah.
over, and they don't want to pay them, right? So they're not paying them like the premium that they were getting
Yeah.
before. Which, hey man, I mean, I understand it's a business, whatever, but it's just they do get a lot of like good advertising, like especially down here. You see like all the big,
Yeah.
pictures and
Yeah.
posters and stuff like that. So
But surfing is like, you got to be on the coast. You got to be in the ocean, like, to really like get into it. Like, like,
yeah,
if you're in the middle of America or middle of any other like country and stuff like that, it's hard to get into surfing because like you can't. There's no opportunity to. Like people
yeah,
are into baseball and football and other sports because
they can relate.
They played them as a
Yeah,
kid.
you can
and stuff
only
like that.
experience to what you can only relate to what you've experienced,
Yeah.
rather. And that actually is a big one just for surfing in general, because it's like you see them and they do these things. They dropped in this like huge wave and you're like, it doesn't look that hard, and you're like,
Yeah. Until you go and you're like, fuck, man.
you get wrecked by like a freaking shin high wave.
Shin high, or not
Yeah.
even that. You paddle out and you're like, this is exhausting.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
Because like, I can't believe they're just paddling out so easy.
yeah.
So the next one, well, this is just a good old classic picture right here. It's boarded. That's pretty funny right there.
That couple's doing well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
They're just, yeah.
They got career goals.
Yes.
Like they're
Yeah.
they're putting the career first.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
They're
right.
kind of just like, hey man, this is where we stand, this is what we believe in, and hey, good for you.
That's crazy though that there's like outside of abortion clinics, there's just like pickets and riots.
Oh man, I
and,
saw a
like, all that
huge
stuff.
one the other day. I was like, that's so crazy. You guys just have like, and that's like your commonality. Like that's the thing that
Yeah.
you guys are like, yeah, we're all
anti-abortion.
gonna meet up and
And it's like a fucking like Tuesday. It's 11 o'clock on a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's
you're
like,
you're like, aren't you guys working or like some shit? Like,
there's got to be other things that you're wanting to do,
right?
right?
Like, what are you accomplishing? Like,
Yeah.
freaking, just like standing out here with signs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The whole like protesting stuff too is still like baffles me like a little bit. Like, it's like, okay, you're trying to get your point across and stuff like that, but it's like being overly aggressive and yelling at people and standing out with like crazy signs, like the best way to go about it. Like, no, probably not. I don't think so.
You should let them know that. Let me know how that goes.
Oh well, next time I'll be just like the guys on the other side. Like, yeah, it's almost the same. Almost collapsed when I found out my cousin owned an umbrella. So much hate. Being homosexual is not even the top 40th gay things you can do as a man. Do you own an umbrella?
I don't. No.
I don't, but I actually been thinking about buying an umbrella, actually, just because it looks so much more practical than getting all your clothes rained on. Like,
Yeah.
There's been a couple times when it's been like pouring and I have like a jacket or something like that. But sometimes I don't want my jacket to get soaked. And then even if you have like a waterproof jacket, it's still like you could still tell that it got rained on. Like, it smells a little different. Some things probably went inside the jacket. Like,
I saw somebody, they had rain boots the other day. That's a move.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll be a little more progressive. I don't want to. I don't want to judge them. It's almost like wearing rollerblades.
Yeah.
But rain boots is crazy.
Yeah, that's like, you have to bring like an extra pair of shoes. Like you're not wearing rain boots around all day,
right? Like, what do you do when you go inside? You're just
you have to like put your rain boots off to the side, and then you have to have like regular shoes. Like what?
Yeah.
And how long were you really in the rain?
Right? Are you like doing a hike? Are you trekking? Like in the olden days, like we had to walk like 15 miles to like.
Do you know where you never see rain boots or an umbrella? When people are hiking.
Yeah, right. I feel like you just get blistered up. Too.
Yeah.
Like rain boots is more of a statement than an umbrella. Like
I feel like you can't have rain boots and not have an umbrella. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't be
Yeah,
wearing rain boots and not
right.
wear an
You're
umbrella.
just wearing rain boots and getting drenched. You're like, hey, at least my feet are
Yeah,
dry.
you're like, yeah, I tucked my pants into these, so
Yeah,
they're
right,
staying dry.
right.
What a fucking power move.
Yeah, that's a statement. Like that is a statement. Genders are like twin towers. 19 years ago, there were two of them. Have you watched? Well, of course. What do you think of Sean Strickland, bro? Like,
Oh, dude, you know what though? Like, it's honestly, it's kind of refreshing. I think
yeah,
be-
he's hilarious.
because it's
And
like he's just unapologetically him,
yeah,
you know. And so, like that to me, it's like he's not pretending to be somebody else. He's not trying to be somebody else. There's a lot of people out there too, like the Conor McGregor thing, where everybody's trying to like replicate that, and it's like
yeah,
you can't replicate Conor. Conor
no,
was Conor.
yeah,
You know, like it's like, and some people do the same stunts. It's like, no, you have to do something more progressive. Like you have to do something different. Like he stole a belt from somebody. Like you remember in the
yeah,
press conference, he stole the belt. I'm like, you
yeah,
can't just go and steal a belt because it's, he got so much fame or whatever from that. It's like you have to go and find something else to do.
right.
Be
He
creative.
is, and yeah, he's just a fucking, he's a funny guy. Like,
Yeah.
and yeah, I like. It's like refreshing now. I felt like if it was like 2 years ago, or maybe 3 or 4 years ago, like the media was so like sensitive and like shit like that. It'd be like, oh, even I would be like the most like unoffended guy. I'd be like, oh, that might be a little offensive.
Yeah.
I would laugh and shit,
Yeah.
but like fucking. But now we're finally like coming out of the dark ages where it's just like people could be themselves, and then people just need to like get a little thicker skin and realize that the world is not all about like everyone's feelings,
Uh-huh.
and they just toughen up and laugh. And
Everybody's going to have you should have different opinions, varying opinions, things like that, right? Like it's I guess like social media is kind of an interesting one, right? Because like social media, it's like you basically get like an algorithm based on shit that you already are looking
yeah,
at, so you just keep getting the same
they
shit
put you
over and
down like
over.
the wormhole or whatever.
Yeah, but you're
They don't
not
have,
getting the
like
outside perspective.
yeah,
You're getting
exactly.
the perspective that
It's
you want to see.
reinforcing your opinion.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
agree.
like I
I
said,
agree.
it's refreshing when somebody's like not conforming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah, I agree 100%. Did you watch the? I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched like clips of like Bob Memory and Memory and the Nelk Boys with Dana White.
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
Dana White is fucking hilarious, bro. Like he's a G. But apparently still he doesn't pay his fighters. But they're gonna
It's
like getting $1 million and shit, right?
it's a business, man. You're running a business, so
Yeah.
it's
Like they're getting millions of dollars, like fucking, and they fight like how often does like the average UFC fighter fight? Like 2 or 3 times a year?
yeah. It used to be they would fight less.
Yeah.
It used to be they would fight like once or twice a year, maybe.
Yeah.
And now they're fighting like some of the guys are going 4 or 5 times a year. So I don't know.
Yeah. But what you're signing up for. Like
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
at least Tarzan will always be white because Disney does not have the balls to put a black man on the screen acting like a monkey. That is hilarious because even like the Snow White now, they're not the seven dwarfs. They're the seven like
Little
different kinds
people.
of people. No, they're not even little people. There's
Oh,
like
they're all
tall
different
people in
sizes.
there of different races,
Huh.
different sizes. I think there's like one dwarf in there, and
But they're
people,
like the same size as Snow White.
yeah, or bigger.
What?
Like I think there's this like one big huge guy like that is like I don't even, they're not the seven dwarves anymore. I don't know what they are. The seven
Oh,
sidekicks or like some shit. But there's some funny things about like the little people community, and they're like, what do you think about them like taking jobs away from you and stuff like
yeah.
that? They're like, we don't like it. Like
Yeah.
it was pretty funny
What's that? What's that you said? Here, let me put you up on the stool.
though. Yeah.
Speaking to the camera.
Little people. Did you ever watch Little People Big World?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and we got one more meme.
Let's go down one. Go down one. Let's see if we can do this one, and then see if we can add a. Can we get sound on that one? Right.
Bro, look at this.
Somebody go rescue my man's, bro. Look at this.
Uh,
Somebody go
it's a,
rescue my man's,
it's
bro.
only doing part of it.
Look at this.
That
Look,
sucks. Oh
let
well.
me do a little refresh.
You my man's, bro. Look at this. Somebody
Oh yeah, why is it? That's weird.
go rescue my man's, bro. Look at this.
I don't know.
Dang. Well, we'll have to technically shoot that the next time. You guys got something to look forward to next week.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, that is a bum bum. But
Essentially, I think what that one is. So this wife basically goes in and she has changed her pronouns to they them, and so she's basically telling her husband that he's actually technically not heterosexual. He's technically homosexual or whatever, or
Well,
she because she's non-binary. They are non-binary.
yeah,
And so yeah, they're like, yeah, I don't know if I could be with somebody who's not willing to be with me. And it's like, bro, come on, like, what do you want? You guys got married, and then you all of a sudden you're non-binary, and you want him to conform to you.
yeah, right.
Like, you want him to be a homosexual, but he didn't sign up for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
that wasn't in
yeah,
the agreement.
You're not
Like,
respecting his pronouns at this point.
like I don't know, like what? Well, that would be a weird situation. So let's say that your girl switched her genders mentally, but
No.
but not physically.
Yeah.
Would you play the charade of being like, yeah, I'm gay. This is my husband or this is my boyfriend right here, and would that be like, well, obviously she's a girl.
Yeah. No. I don't think it would, man. I'd be like, dude, you're tripping.
Yeah, this is not what I signed up for.
Yeah. It's like weird. Yeah, this is not the relationship that we established we were gonna have.
Right.
Um,
That's just selfish of the gender changing person. Like, it's cool, like if they really felt that way, and then they're understanding, but they got to be understanding. Be like, yo, man, this is not what I signed up for. Like,
all right, I got a
stay relationship.
I got a fun one for you. Okay, so I had I like moved into this house, and then there was like people that were already living there. It was this huge like I think it was only like 4 bedrooms, but it was 3 levels.
Yeah.
Right. And so there's like a couple people in the Coast Guard. They were planning on moving out, but it was going to just like kind of take some time, you know. And so one of the people was she was a lesbian. Okay.
Yeah.
And then she basically started dating this other girl who then decided to transition.
Oh.
Okay. So her significant other, right, transitioned into a male and like started taking steroids and like
put a penis on.
Yeah, and it was like yoked. You know what I mean? Just like like ripped. And but they were still together. Like that was still like, you know, they were still together. They were still kind of doing their thing, and they just like, you know, just kind of switched. And then the funniest thing about that is like one day we're all sitting there, and he at this point, right?
Yeah.
So that the other girl had already moved out, and then the guy was still there, right? And he was like, all right, y'all, I'm gonna go you know, I'm gonna go head out, you know, celebrate Mother's Day. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, no, I'm a mother. I'm like, you have a kid? He's like, yeah, I have a kid. And I was like, but like it's your kid.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. So he had a kid when
he was a woman.
Yeah. But then transitioned into a male, but then still celebrates Mother's Day. I was like, God damn, this is fucking confusing.
That's a little hypocritical.
Like I was like, you just want to have your cake and eat it too. Huh?
Yeah.
What
like,
the fuck?
I mean, you cannot celebrate Father's Day in that situation too. You can't celebrate Mother's Day and Father's Day.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I am your mother and your father.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. It's confusing. It's confusing, man. I don't know. Yeah. So
that's crazy.
Pronunciation, guys. Pronunciation.
Pronunciation, bro. Yeah. That's a good one.
Look them up.
See, like, you know, all people are different and stuff, but I just like, I don't know. Like, I never had like that thought that I would be like, if I had a kid, like, I guess I never felt like trapped in like someone else's body or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So that might be different. But
You know what a weird one too was like, you remember the show? Um, it was Elliot Page,
oh, dude, yeah. And then she like transitioned, and
The
then she
Umbrella Academy.
the Umbrella Academy,
The
the Umbrella
Umbrella Academy.
Academy, and
Yeah.
then she's like,
She transitioned.
"Hey, call me Tom now," and they're like, "Oh, that's cool."
It was Victor.
Yeah, Victor.
It was
Yeah,
Victor. But
yeah,
they like hardcore switched like in the middle
yeah.
of like
It
this
was
like
like the next episode, and then
epic fight.
she was like a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
And they're like, she's like, he is like dying. They're like, Victor, no. I'm like, you're telling me you're not gonna slip up like not once?
right.
I was like, you've been calling that person a different name for fucking
Your
like
entire life.
20 years.
Yeah,
And all of a sudden now you're just like, gotta respect him, Victor.
yeah,
Like,
right.
come on.
You're just like, okay, that's cool. Like,
Yeah.
okay. And then it was
It's also like low key kind of weird to be like, yeah, Elliot Page and Juno.
yeah,
Right?
right. She was pregnant, like a pregnant teenager.
Yeah.
And Inception. Did you see Inception?
Inception. Yeah, I just watched Inception again.
Dude, great movie.
Yeah.
That was a great movie.
Yeah. I forgot. I think I was watching that on a flight. And then it was like one of those ones where you're like, oh, I need to watch something. You know how like you do a flight and you're like, you've basically already watched one movie that you kind of wanted to watch, and now you have like 3 hours to kill.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, let me just watch something that I know how it ends.
Yeah.
That way it's like I'm not stuck.
If the flight or the movie turns off or something.
Yeah,
like
well, they're
that.
gonna do like all the promotions and everything like at the end, so you're not actually gonna get to watch the movie all the way through. And bro, it backfired because Inception is not one of those movies you can stop watching.
Yeah.
Like you have to finish it. Like you're
And
kind
it's
of
like 3 hours long.
yeah, and you're like, God damn it, dude!
Now I gotta go home. Now I
Yeah.
gotta when I get home, gotta watch the rest of the
I
movie.
did, dude. I had to rent it. It sucked. And renting and buying is like the same now. It's like, hey man, do you want to rent it for
20 bucks? Yeah.
or do you want to buy it for 24?
Yeah.
You're like, oh fuck, I don't know.
It's like I probably won't watch it again, but in the case in like a couple years, so
Yeah.
fuck it, I ain't paying $20 again.
Yeah. I don't want to own Barbie, do I?
You definitely want to own that movie.
Yeah.
Did you watch Barbie?
I did.
What'd you think?
I thought it was overrated.
I thought it was overrated too. I thought it was a good movie, but people are like, oh, all these dudes are getting offended and like, oh, it was such a good movie. I was like, it was okay.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't like, oh, I'm mad that I saw it, but I was like, I'm mad that I kind of dug into a little bit of the hype that it was going to be like a fucking great ass movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Same, man. Same, yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of like weird shows and stuff out there. It's hard now. Like you find some good ones. Like we talked about this last time where it's like stuff will be trending, but it could just be like a shit movie or a shit show, but it's still like for some reason trending.
Yeah, you never know why. It's just like a fucking.
And then you have to
weird
watch like
algorithms of the
8
internet.
episodes to realize that it still sucks.
Yeah, you're like, I can't wait till it gets good. I can't wait till it gets good.
And it just doesn't.
And it just doesn't.
Yeah.
What the fuck were these people like talking about?
Yeah. So I think the most recent one, you've finished this already. I actually still have to finish the show. I'm like halfway through the last episode.
The Tourist.
The Tourist.
Oh, yeah.
And then you kind of gave me your take on that. You didn't like how it ended.
I did not like how it ended.
And so now I'm waiting for that. I'm like, what is going to happen in the ending that I don't, they already killed off like my, spoiler alert, they killed off my favorite character.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, oh, fuck,
You're just going to be a little disappointed. Like, I feel like you, like, because there's twists and turns and stuff like that. And then it ends and you're just like, I don't think I like that. Like,
yeah,
I'm not a fan. Wait, who is your favorite character? The cop?
Oh no, I like that. Oh, great. Great. Let's not go down that rabbit hole. All right. No, I always do like it though when there's like some kind of like a psychotic episode kind of twist in there, where you're kind of trying to figure out like who am I, what's going on, like yeah, I like that kind of stuff. So, is it all just a figment of my imagination?
Yeah.
And
some of the stuff you're like, whoa, and then you're like, whoa, he was on mushrooms. And,
acid, yeah.
Or acid,
took some acid, yeah.
But you'll see, and then we'll talk about the ending the next time.
Yeah. Definitely. I'll let you know if it was a letdown, guys. Frankie Gliz.
Glizzy Frank,
Glizzy Frank, Frankie Gliz. I go by it all.
potato,
Mm-hmm.
Musubi, Masubi. No, that doesn't really work out.
No,
Musubi.
got to work on that one.
Yeah. Well, we've been doing this for about 50 minutes. What do you say?
Yeah.
We cap it off?
Yeah, call it a day.
Call it a day. It's been a long week. It's been a week long. Ding dong, ding dong. Chicka chicka ching chong. Ding dong.